Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to review some of the quick highlights of the recent iPhone 15 launch. The September is the time when we all look forward to Apple's newest launches related to iPhone or Apple Watch. So we are going to cover very briefly, very quick highlights about what is a little different from last time. What are the highlights from the launch session this time? Type-C is the star of this iPhone 15. So the Type-C lightning port has been rumored to come because of the pressures that European Union has been putting on Apple to change the charging port from lightning cable. So that has finally happened. Apple has caved in, and so I think the customers would benefit because a lot of cables and accessories today are Type-C, so we can use that to recharge all the devices. In addition to that, Apple's all the other ecosystems, Apple mentioned that the rest of the MacBooks, everything, all portable devices, tablets, as well as the new Apple AirPods are also going to come with the Type-C, and even has a feature where it will allow your iPhone 15 to charge the AirPods Pro. The next thing that I noticed was the Dynamic Island and the democratization of Dynamic Island. So Dynamic Island is a feature that has now come from the Elite Pro models to the normal non-Pro models as well, without the usual Apple price increase. So I think that's a good feature to have at the iPhone 15 range for everyone. Now the other update that I noticed was the screen. The bezels have become a little more thinner, leading to a little more higher screen size perception, so screen real estate. So I think that's a good welcome change. As well as the main thing that I noticed was the increase in peak brightness for both iPhones as well as the Series 9 Apple Watch that they launched recently. So I think Apple, there's a improvement in the display brightness that they have come up with because they've changed it across the board. So I think the peak brightness is very good because it helps you see better in the daylight when you're outside using either your iPhones or the Apple Watches. So increased peak brightness is a good welcome change. There's not too much surprises in the design. I think Apple has went for a little more rounded and polished look and subtle look for all of them. Colors, I think the product red variant is not available anymore. I think the other colors, the usual colors are there. And I think in terms of the design, I think the other big update is the titanium finished models in the iPhone Pro variants. It looks good, and also that brushed aluminum feel also is good. So I think that's the main design kind of change that we could call it. The other feature which is also related to design is the action button. So the mute button has on the left side has now changed to the action button, which has been in the leaks for a long time, running up to this launch. So the action button, as you have seen, could be customized to do anything. So I think that is a welcome change. But I think it will for people who have been using iPhones for a long time, it will be a slight shift to adapt to it. But I think as we progress using the iPhone, I think it will become more, you get more adapted to it. The titanium also obviously makes the iPhone lighter, so I think the Pro variants will be much more lighter to hold and easy to use. The camera is the other update, especially in the iPhone Pro Max variant. So you get a 5x telephoto lens, which is around 120mm focal length, which has good zooming capability. Even though you can't compare it to S23 Ultra's zoom lens, but I think at least Apple is bringing that zoom capability, and I think they will improve that in the future going forward. The other they showed that it is a 48 megapixel sensor. I think a lot of people were mocking Apple for saying Android have been having this megapixel. They have the Chinese phone itself has 200 megapixels, and in this era of 200 megapixels, 48 megapixels, why do you want to boast about it? But I think there's something that we all overlook: Apple's image processing algorithm. I don't think a lot of phones who boast these ultra 200 megapixels and all I don't think they still match the iPhone's image processing algorithm, which is there. Other important change has been the new A17 Pro chip that has come in the Pro variants. I understand that there is a multi-cores and a separate cores that Apple was talking about in the presentation. So I think this could lead to a better efficiencies in the battery. So we may expect better battery life in the Pro variants. I hope they don't bungle it up like last time. I think you can still see iPhone 14 Pro Max battery issues. A lot of people complaining about it. And iPhone 15 still gets the A16 Bionic chip. So we'll have to see how much improvements in battery life that is making to iPhone 15. We'll only know as we in daily use. We'll have to see in daily use. Another update I think is the graphics capability in the new A17 Pro chip. So I think games will have much more ray tracing kind of a quality, with thanks to this improved graphics in the chip. So I think we can expect games of good caliber coming out in the recent months. One thing that I forgot to tell was in terms of the camera, it also takes the Pro variants can take 4K ProRes videos, and since now that is a Type-C, it can be attached to external storage. So this is not too much of a big deal for the layman, but I think for vloggers, content creators, professional photographers and videographers who use iPhone sometimes, I think they will find it. For them, this is a really good upgrade. So last, in terms of the prices, I haven't seen any, the usual typical Apple bumping up the prices. So they said, everything stays the same, almost, all the prices. In Indian market, we will have to see how the localization, for example, Tata's and Foxconn has set up the plant to produce, local iPhones. So we'll have to see if that does make an impact in terms of iPhone prices. But I think that could only maybe we will only see that in the non-Pro variants, and Apple would still keep the Pro variants at the above 1,10,000 range, like a premium offering. To summarize, I think there's not too much of a revolutionary changes from Apple this time also, but I think the features, it's not too boring either. All the features that they've talked about is a good upgrade from the previous variants, and I think the Pro Max or the Pro variants are much more the ones to look out for this time. I think there are a lot of changes or significant upgrades for people who are coming down from who look to upgrade from 3 or 4 generations back, like iPhone 10s or 10, 11, 12. So those people would find it really good if they want to upgrade this. So that's a quick video. I think we didn't have to try and put together a lot of effort into this video, but I wanted to quickly cover all the highlights as quickly as possible after the the event. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do subscribe, comment and like. So until we see next video, this is Junaid signing off from Gizmo.